Alright, so permit me to acknowledge the presence of Mrs. Ifedayo Andrew Ogunbayo, the CEO of Lead Travel Council. She's here, you're welcome. Motivational session, which will call on the people we have around to take us through the journey of how they've been able to translate the passion into an enterprise. For me this morning, when this rain started, the first thing that came to my mind was, rain represents blessings, and women have blessings. Do we all agree with me? So in case you were beaten by the rain while trying to get here, it's a blessing. It's an additional blessing. For me, I decided to put on a positive attitude towards this rain. Either I entered into traffic, or I got wet while it was raining. The second thing that I decided to ensure that I put on a positive attitude is, women and Ankara Ashwebi, especially when it's taken and you get to the event where the Ashwebi is supposed to be worn and you are wearing it, it gives you one comfort zone. It gives you a sign of belonging. So this morning when I got here and I wasn't putting on Ashwebi, all I needed to do was to look for like minds that are not putting on Ashwebi. Coincidentally, one of them is my mentor. If I put on a white top, probably will be wearing the same thing. So I'm very comfortable. So every one of us, we should feel relaxed. Either you are putting on APWEN and Shoebi, or you are not. For the fact that you have your line tag, you have your tag with you, even if you don't have the line tag, you don't have your tag with you, enjoy the moment. Enjoy the environment. Feel very comfortable. And go through all we have to learn here that will make us to translate our passion into an enterprise. So I'm going to start with, before we go to the friends of the environment, I want to start with our home.
So she said it was working. When Nkechi spoke to me, I thought, what are you talking about? I get excited about anything I want, that's the truth. I get very excited when I was very active in APWEN. I was excited about the education of women, getting women into engineering. We produced a booklet. I was thinking, I'm sure you all don't have that booklet, but we produced a booklet, Careers in Engineering are for Girls Too. And I was very passionate about going to schools, going to different parts of the country to enlighten girls. Anything I get into, I'm actually excited about. So recently, I've been looking into how I'm thinking of the millennials now. When you're talking of passion translated into enterprise, my focus is always on the millennials, on the ones who were born after 1980, okay? They are the ones they call Generation Y, I think. They are between 1980 and year 2000. I'm very into young people, basically. I'm really into young people, and I'm thinking, okay, so maybe we didn't do it so well at that time. Maybe we allowed, maybe we did. For example, one of the things that prevent people in enterprise, especially when you have an engineering background, is infrastructure. Okay? So if the infrastructure is not there, and infrastructure and finance, sometimes the sort of dreams we have are so large that we can't go into them. Now, I worked with Ericsson, and I was unhappy after a while because I was just doing maintenance at board level. It irritated me tremendously because when I left school, I wanted to change the world. Didn't you? Yes. I wanted to change the world, so having to sit and first they wanted to push me to marketing because I'm a woman. I said, no, I'm not going to go and talk to men so that they will give all the jobs. I'm not doing that. So they said, okay, head maintenance. I sorted up the men. Like she said, we're brilliant. And interestingly, I think I was the only engineer. I was the only engineering graduate in the firm. Wow. Yes. Yes, at the time, I was the only I am telling you, I was the only engineering graduate in there. They had technicians. They had technicians. And I was actually headhunted from NET where I did my youth corps. So it wasn't as, so it was like, oh great. When I got there, and I was complaining, things weren't going the way I thought. And I thought, I'm not going to waste my life here. And we had some disagreements. So I left, and then I thought, oh good, now what am I going to do in my life? I wanted to change the world. You know how it is when you just feel, I wanted to change the world. And I know nothing, what am I going to do? All I see is people are doing, because I had to handle some portfolios, people were applying for contracts, I had to prepare the bills of quantities. It's good training, but I wasn't changing the world. I wasn't changing the world. So when I got out, I saw that engineers do contracts, or they work for big companies. When they get to those big companies, they, at least at that time, many times you were probably the engineering graduates. I had technicians. I actually had a technician as my boss. And I didn't mind that, but he was intimidated by my so it was for me, it was difficult. And I wondered, why didn't I stay in NET? At least there was a progression, but I left. So here I was out on the streets, but because I liked to make my own money, I like find things. I would trade. If I traveled, I had to make back the money I used to travel. I went to school in the UK, and so I like going there. Anyway, somewhere along the line, because I've been baking from when I was 9, not having a job at home with my parents then, I started to bake again. And I'll just bake. Anybody who was having a party, I bake. Okay, let's have a tea party. I bake, and I had. And not only that, there were things, I think that was the time of Obasanjo, OFN, not OFN, no. When things were not allowed to be imported. So there were many things that weren't there. So of course, guess what? As an engineer, I said, hey, okay, now if I want to make a fresh cream cake, there was no internet for me to research through, But I came across a piece of equipment that came with Kenwood, a Kenwood cream maker. So I got one, and all I needed was milk, powdered milk, and they were still sneaking in butter. So I started to make fresh cream cakes. And I remember some of the cakes I made would land at parties, and people would say, oh, we had them flown in from London. And I would say, which fly did you fly? And they'll be what? I had them flown in from London. They were not flown in from, they were made right here. Because as engineers, we've been trained to look for solutions. And I said, I like reverse engineering. Why does it work? And it's also one of the skills that an enterprise needs. Now, like she said, you get to a point where it's not paying you. I discovered that if I was going to move on, I had to have people who would face the public. I don't like that. I don't like them telling me what I should do. I just prefer to be in the background. Even in APWEN, I actually did prefer being in the background, working on the things. But with the children, I had no problem. So I moved on. I noted some of the things that Adeswa was saying, because she talked about passion. And I'm one of those people who believe that passion is not enough. Passion is not enough. I have discovered that a need, when you find a need, for us engineers maybe, I don't know how it is for others, as engineers we see the need and innovation produces an answer. I'm sure that's how most entrepreneurs are, but in our own case, we tend to limit ourselves. I know that here, I've met people, engineers who at times, they've gone into acting in the soaps. They've done all kinds of things because Nigeria is a place that allows you to have different streams of income. In fact, if you don't have different streams of income, you will die. Like she said, and when she was talking, she said how she would do this, and then when that one was not working. And that's another thing, we put ourselves in a box. Now, there's only so much you can do in a place where it's not working for you. When you are someone who, I'm very quiet, but at the same time, I'm always active. I don't know how you put those two things together. I'm always looking for a problem to solve. The first thing I ask them, have you done this Is there enough? Have you put it on telly? Have you done this? Have you, what have you done? The CPC was already there. But for us, I haven't heard about this. In those days, we would go around the, media companies and try to make sure everybody's noising it. So it was like, hey, slow down. Slow down, because that's me. I'm always looking for a solution to a problem. And I think that's one of the things which, when I talk about reverse engineering, it's like, okay, this is where we're going. I was looking for something that we can always do with whatever we have here today. If we know how it works, then we can do it. And I think that in this millennium, in this season that we're in for an exciting time. And I believe our children are going to do that. I was excited when Engineer Kashim said that his son is doing what he's doing. In other words, there's no, you can't say, and I'm not, your father was ahead of his time. You can't put anybody in a box. The millennials are doing great things. I actually respect them, even here in Nigeria. I'm sure you've seen that video that's gone viral of a girl who did Marco. Yes. Okay? And as I saw that, I said, this is exactly what we're saying. Do you know that they are more than 50% of the Nigerian population? It's a huge market. Now, how are we going to... I went to the All Hands on Deck conference, Expo, I think 2 weeks ago. I'm sure many of you did not know anything about it. If Nigeria is going to be what it's supposed to be, we have to have different types of things we can export. And it's very difficult for us, okay, to make money. We want to make money. You can make naira, but it's better to make pounds and dollars, right? Yeah. So I open myself to everything that entrepreneurs are doing. But I kept coming back to the fact that our kids, I don't know what the kids are doing, our kids are making shoes. Okay? But they need, see, one of the things that we have to press and push for is infrastructure. The machine tools industry that I hear we're going to revive. Because they're small tools. Engineers use tools. Everybody uses tools, but they go and buy the tools. When you design something, you need someone to machine it. Right? So if there's no machining tools, what are you going to do? So I was there and I was thinking, all things I was thinking, I make soaps. And my soaps are fantastic. I didn't just start making soaps today, I've been making soaps for friends. So I never thought of making it into a business, right? But you find that, how does it go? Chemical engineering. What does this do? Most people are selling black soap, right? I'm not selling black soap. I'm selling the soap that I produce. And I'm doing soaps that affect different aspects of a person. So if you are the sort of person who needs a creamy soap, my research goes into that. I produce a creamy soap. So I do 3 types of soap. I'm not selling anything to you. I'm not selling anything. I'm telling you the truth. I don't sell to people like that. I don't know. I'm not a communicator, like I said. Let it sell itself. Okay? So the fact that I'm doing that and people are begging me is good. You know what? I'm sure I'm going to move on to something next. Do you understand? I'm just that kind of, I'm a very restless person. I'm a very restless person. There's always another something to do. And what I'm looking at now is how we're going to empower our millennials. And I want to join I think so. It's still working. Can you hear me? Yes. It's how we're going to work with our millennials. I'm thinking of Nigeria. I love Nigeria. I love Nigeria to the extent that when I go out of the country, I can't spend more than 2 weeks. 2 weeks is tops for me. I love being in Nigeria. I had the best. You understand? In this place, I can't live anywhere else. I cannot live anywhere else. Nigeria is where I want to live and die. But I think that song. I love my country. I love God. I don't live and thrive. In bushes, I push up. I'm not concrete. That has been my attitude about Nigeria. When we talk of enterprise, when we talk of engineering, I don't see engineering as being different. Now, there's some things I want us to know about enterprise. First, there's a need.
There's a need, people are going natural, right? But before people started going natural, I was producing the soaps. Now there's that. Then there's innovation. How do you use what you know and what is there to do what needs to be done? The thing is, you can have a good product and nobody wants it. You can see that even Unilever, they are putting herbs in their Colgate now because they recognize that people are tired of chemicals, right? That doesn't mean the chemical industry is going out of business. But the truth is, people want to be closer to nature. Okay? So you need to look at that. Then there's creativity. Now let me tell you something. This is where, because we don't have infrastructure, people have had to leapfrog. Nigeria made a very wise decision when we went into mobile communications, because it meant that we didn't have to wait for those landlines anymore. So today you are doing business because we leapfrog. That's what, when you overcome lack of infrastructure, do you understand? By doing something, you know, those countries that we take for granted. Let me tell you something. Nigeria is not going to fail. Yes. Do you know why? Just because they had all those number of years to innovate, take one thing onto the next and onto the next. What we're going to do now is we're going to see a situation where we have solar everywhere. You buy solar, I buy solar, we have solars in our community so that we can overcome that infrastructural problem. I'm saying this because these are real things. But our children are not waiting for us. Our children are not waiting to get a job. Did I hear someone say, yeah? Yes. They're not, and you're thinking, won't you go for that interview? Won't you do this? And they're thinking, what? No, I'm not doing that too. Because I'm doing this. Now, what we need to do is recognize that things have changed. The world has changed. Business is done on a global basis now. It's not done in the back of your house. So whatever you are doing, and I know that there are many of us who are doing something, please let's remember that passion is not enough. I was glad when she was saying that when this was open, you must pay attention to the bottom line. I used to tell people when I was baking, I was doing 12,000 cupcakes a month. In those days, yes, I was doing 12,000 and I didn't know the people I was selling to. We had a distribution channel. In fact, there was a company that we went to because we needed to buy, they had some stuff that we had researched at as well. So we went there and they said, what is your output? When we told them, they said, how do you do it? Because they had this fancy factory that had everything not touched by man, you know, that sort of thing. And they couldn't even do 2,000 in a month. So it's about how and I said, it's my engineering background that is doing this. Okay, I think a lot. And let me tell you something, I don't know, maybe Abiswa is a billionaire now. But money is important that we make money. But for me, money is not the be-all and end-all. Money comes, but it's not the be-all and end-all. Some projects will bring in billions because by their nature, they need billions anyway. Some projects will bring in millions because by their nature, they bring in millions anyway. But some projects will satisfy you because you are not making a loss. I used to boast. I've never done any job where I lost money. I've never done any job where I don't make profit. Do you understand? It's just one of, I have never ever done a job where I don't make profit because I keep my eyes on the bottom line. And how do I make it? I don't now say, okay, I'm going to increase everything. No, I keep looking for sourcing. When you source your materials, listen to me. For anybody who's doing a cottage business that will translate into something bigger, your source is very important. Don't buy from where it's expensive. We're talking of enterprise. Your enterprise will not make you happy if it's not making money, no matter how much passion you have. You can be passionate. So we need passion, and above all, we need ambition. You have got to be hungry to succeed. I can see that Adeswa was hungry. She was hungry to succeed. She was not hungry to succeed because of the money. She knew that money would come and money had to come. But it was because she wanted to see what she had dreamt of from when she was 9, 10, right? Come to fruition. And she made those decisions. And I'm asking us to teach our children. In my age, you had to be a doctor, a lawyer. At my time, a doctor, a lawyer. If I being an engineer, I was a rebel in my house. My mother fought me tooth and nail. She said I should be a teacher. And guess what? I've discovered that I am a teacher. That's what I teach. And guess what? I don't even, what happened, a friend of mine was running a business and she was having problem placing kids in schools in the UK because they were not passing the exams. So she said, you know what, I need a brain. There's something here. So she asked me to come and join her. And my cake business was going on, you know, they were turning out. And I joined her and we started this business, Independent Schools Advisory Services Limited. That's why I say I'm a restless person. They don't help me, so because I'm starting a training program to get children who don't have advantages off the streets and make them important to you. I thank you, because I'm not very good at that. You can't be begging what you want. And how do we get them to have what the schools want? Tayo has helped us out a number of times. You know, she's even taught English. There was a boy that was going to St. Edward's in Oxford, and she worked with the boy. The thing is, we have these minds that make us think through. And so today, I am grateful to God because not only have I done different things that I see the result, it is always so fulfilling when the kids get in and their friends, oh, thank you, Mrs. Candy. Some of them don't know I'm an engineer. They think I studied English. I don't tell them I studied English. When they ask me, I tell them, oh, my background is elect. But many of them don't ask me because they know Mrs. Cardinal now over the years, they don't even ask questions. But that doesn't stop me from doing my side hustle. Do you understand what I'm saying? I am a restless person. And I love what APWEN is doing. I believe that every person who is here, who is thinking in a larger sphere, needs to also think about how they can translate that to business. How you can make, wherever you are, I don't like it when people are unhappy. I was talking to a young lady, and she said, she thinks she has wasted her years, she doesn't. And she said, I think, no, it doesn't have to be like that. I enjoyed every year that I spent with APWEN, but I am enjoying myself, doing the things I want to do. And I'm not rich, okay, but I am comfortable. Do you understand? I'm comfortable. Not only that, I'm also fulfilled. Maybe that's when we are different from the millennials. Millennials, let me tell you, their own is, they want money. It's not just money. It's not, we think it's money. They also care about the environment they live in. They care about what's happening to the world they live in. So in a way, they're better than us. We use lip service for waste to wealth. They are turning it into wealth today. They are turning nylon bags and bottles into things that they're selling. It's not you, it's not my age group. Some of you here know. So all these things are good. I am of the opinion that passion is not enough. So when I say passion translated into it, I say it's translated. When you have your passion, you must add skills. You must add skills. I have it written here. You must have skills, innovation, creativity, and ambition. If you don't know what you need to do, someone said something yesterday. Let me tell you, the usual type of business that worked 20 years ago, up to 5 years ago, is not working because there's no money. Do you understand? So you need to think in the box, out of the box. Best of all, target the millennials. They are the biggest market. And if you want to know how they behave, ask your children. I hope that in this place I'm going to have people who are going to. I asked the APWEN man, what is a profession? And this one, let me ask you something. Do you have, I'm sure you belong to some institutions. Some of them might belong to the Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria. Any of them? What's the Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria? I had to ask him, who are professionals? See, the world is changing, you know. Who are professionals? It's not only engineers.
Lawyers.
It's not only lawyers. It's not only accountants.
Homemakers.
Thank you. I have it here. Enterprise. Homemaking is an enterprise. It is an enterprise. And you need all these skills too. So, who is not doing business? If you are an employee, you are an enterprise. The reason we don't give our best to our employers is we don't see that we are in an enterprise. We are in an enterprise. I am both a producer and a consumer in my company. I am producing for the company, and the company is also producing. I'm consuming something from the company. Passion translated into enterprise. If we put all those things that I've said into it, wherever you are, you will discover an excitement. I never thought I'd be excited about talking. I talk to my friends, but I was like, hey, I'm going to be sitting with people like I used to talk. I told the KT, I said, yeah. But she made me feel welcome. And if I've done nothing, I hope that I've made you think. You can do, and let me tell you, when I was doing 12,000 a month, I had 2 Kenwood chefs. One chef, one major. I designed a process. Eventually, I got bigger equipment. I had an oven designed that complemented the other oven I had. But I set up a process, a production process. I was not just making cake for fun. It was a production process. So, whatever it is you're doing, I pray that you will see yourself as bigger than you. And like you said, women are everything. And guess what? What do I say about engineers' time? When I want to recruit people to come and help out with the children, I look first for engineers. Our brains are fantastic. And we were not born with that brain. In case you think we were born with that brain. It's the way you were trained. Let's give it for our lecturers.
Thank you so very much. I'd like you to give them another round of applause. Both of them. Thank you so much. Before we continue, I'd like you to note down your questions, because I have mine as well. From our first 2 speakers, first of all, Mrs. Adeson Yenupe, I gained from her that sound business planning is important, because you can see the outcome of the sound business plans that she had. And also, we all need help. So you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. And from Mrs. Kadri, reverse engineering, using the skills you have to do new things. Passion is not enough. You need animation, skills, innovation, and creativity. Thank you. Now we're going to move on to Mrs. Ifedayo Andrew Ogunbayo. She's the CEO of, is it Fidel or Fidel? Fidel Trips. When I saw that name, I said, what does that mean? So I'm going to start by asking you what it means, and then you tell us how you translated your own passion into enterprise. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Glad to be here. Okay, let me answer your question now.
I think this mic is better.
Okay. Okay, Fidel is from my daughter's name. Her name is Oluwafidola for me. So we got the word Fidel from it. We wanted to be a unique travel company, not necessarily using, all this something, we just wanted something different. That's why we gave it Fidel Trip and Travel Services. Thank you. Okay, my name is Ifedayo, like I said, and I work for Fidel Trip and Travel Services. And I trained in school as an estate surveyor and valuer. So I transitioned into travel business. And how did I start? Like my mommies here, they've said so many things. And for me, passion has to also do with your emotions. If you don't have emotion, you cannot thrive with your passion. And like the mommy, the engineer said also, I think I'm just looking at myself and seeing myself in her. I'm just very restless. I'm going to be 34 in November, and I've done, I think I've done over 12 businesses. Wow. Yes. Okay. While in school, while being an estate surveyor, and while in school, I used to sell bread. I saw that there was a need. Like they both said, you have to meet a need. My passion is to sell. I can sell anything.
Oh, wow.
So, I found out then, let me start from when I was in school. I went to FUT Mina. And I found out that in Mina, I was a Lagos girl. They had so many things they were lacking. E.g., good bread. My dad then would say, he doesn't want local bread. You have to buy bread from all these UAC and all. So one day, I came home and I saw Teammates bread. They used to be in Sabo by Queen's College. So I walked in and I said to them, okay, please, can I be getting this bread in Mina? And they were like, oh, they're going to open an office in Abuja. And applying to churches, to the pastors, to this, to that. Wow. I was also selling shoes. I was seeing you wear designer shoes. When I go to Abuja, I'll see someone wear designer shoes. And I'll say, please, can I take a picture? And I'll take the picture. And I'll bring it to Mina. And I'll go to the markets in Mina. And I'll look for shoemakers that make shoes. And I'll say, can you do it like this? And they'll do it like that. And I'll sell it 800 naira. Wow. And while in school, I will sell, I'll wait at home in school when there is Sideways and there will be sun. I will sell cap, those hats, those Hausa hats, I was just selling. I was selling. I wasn't getting money, because passion sometimes does not come with immediate profit. Sometimes the profit is, it rolls over. And it might be as a result of what you have done before that start counting for you. So that was how my Mina days went. And while I was in school also, I loved to travel. Then I was in a church where you have to travel for a program, you have to travel for a... So I was doing everything and all in all. And then I was also the class rep. Wow. So fast forward to after 2007, I started working with an estate surveyor and valuer who happened to be, till date, one of the most traveled estate surveyor and valuer. Well then, I didn't know my passion was into tourism. All the while, I was doing travel from Mina to thinking that my passion was into selling. I didn't know that all those trips are part of tourism. So I discovered myself when I started working in Lagos with my boss, just before my NYSC in 2007, 2008. Then Virgin Atlantic, this was our office, legally Ayurvedic. Virgin Atlantic was on the 3rd floor, and then my boss would just say, Ife, he just give you the itinerary, and go up, go and buy the ticket. When I get there, I look at them in their, red skirt and, suits, and I'm like, wow, I want to be part of you. How do I do it? They will say, go and study, go and do this. It wasn't, selling in my ears. But then my boss would then give me his card. Book on booking.com hotels for visa purpose. I'll write letter. I will say it on his behalf. Then he now became the president of African Real Estate Society. Then I found myself now, as of 2008, I started planning trips for 150 people to South Africa. I'll be the one to write letters and go to the embassy. Then the embassy was at Sinari, Daranijo. I was doing it. It was passion for me. It wasn't giving, I was not collecting extra money. My normal salary as an estate surveyor was there. But I was doing it. It was something that was, I didn't know it was coming out of me, coming out. It was my emotions being so strong and coming out. And then I discovered that, wow, this thing is so interesting. And everybody wanted Ife, the estate surveyors and valuers in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Namibia, in Kenya. They always wanted me to plan the trips, So anytime I don't plan any of such trip, they're always sad because I was putting details into them. When we want to go on group trips like that, I'm going to call for meetings. I was very young. I'll call for meetings and I'll say, okay, sir, here is your travel document, here is this, you need to be this is your room, you're sharing with this. It was going seamless. I didn't know I was discovering myself, and then my boss now found out that I was deviating from estate surveying. And he said, no, you have to do this valuation tomorrow. I said, sir, I'll do it, but this one, we have to do this. So he was encouraging me too. And then 2009, I planned the largest trip, which was about for 350 at Oriental Hotel. We had people converging, estate surveyors and valuers all over the world they came for African Real Estate Society. I single-handedly planned it while still an estate surveyor. Without, like I said, no extra, And then when it was 2011, I started doing it. I was doing it. When it was 2011, one of my former bosses, again, he was still my boss. He just said to me, I think you should translate this thing to money. Go and register your travel agency business. Oh. One thing I'm also grateful for is the kind of husband I married. I was happy when Auntie Adesua mentioned that she had a very supporting husband who was an engineer. My husband is an estate surveyor, he's not an engineer. But he was very supportive because at a point in time, I was still thinking that I'm not, gotten hold of this is my passion. I was still, relenting. I was thinking it was for leisure. So I moved from that estate firm where I was since 2007, and I got a bigger job with Dangote as a facility manager. I was thinking, okay, that's where the money is. So I went to Dangote. At Dangote again, I was saddled with the responsibility of people calling me from afar for me to be doing their ticketing, their this, their that. I wouldn't even have time to go for the trainings. My husband then was working in Ghana. He would come to Nigeria to go to the trainings on my behalf, and then when we get home, he would teach me on tourism. So he would teach me on tourism. And then I didn't have time when I was working in Dangote. I was recognized best staff, best this, best that, but I didn't have time for my daughter at all. I was filling the gap in the office, but I needed to fill the gap at home. I wasn't even there for my daughter at school. They don't even know me, but they know the dad who does not even reside in Nigeria, that resides in Ghana. So I spoke to myself. I needed to put myself, in the right place. So, and before then, also, I was doing something I called Ijora prizes. I was meeting the lead of bankers. I would go in the evening after Dangote, when I finished from work. I would go in the evening, and then I had freezers where I put frozen food. So they give me orders on Thursdays. I'll put them in my car, and I'll come to Access Bank, Intercontinental Zenith, and everybody will be taking their pomo. I would have watched the pomo over the weekend, labeled it. Wow. I was doing that. I was supplying to. Yes. So I was doing all those things too. And if you call me today and you want 10 cartons of stock, I will still supply. Because it still happens to be, you need to have chains of businesses. It might not be that one paying, but I have passion also to help you get something. Like, online now, like Mommy said, the millennial, they want to buy that thing online. They want that thing online. But me, I don't prefer the online. I prefer to go inside that Lagos market to get the good thing. I prefer to get and when you get it at 8,000 naira inside Balogun, you will see, I was showing my husband 2 days ago, one shoe I bought 8,000 naira. And somebody is selling it the next day online at 20,000 naira. She's making money. I had to call my sister in Abuja yesterday night that, see, even if it's 16,000 you sell it, you are going to be making double. So please, we need to also reinvent, we need to be innovative. And like I said, field trips now came into being. I came fully into field trips in 2012. And I've been having time for myself. I now discovered that my passion really from the beginning was tourism. So I started by, also when you want to grow and have an enterprise, you must study about what you want to go into. You don't just say, I want to go into this, I have passion. Passion without you knowing the T's, everything will lead you into something else. I tell people not everybody can be bosses. But if you want to be a boss, you can still work for somebody to be a boss, but if you want to be a boss, you need to know what's the nitty-gritty of everything you want to do. And you need to also talk to people who have been in that industry. You need to be aware of what happens around. You need to join associations. You need to also market yourself. Today, I'm my ambassador. I'm the ambassador of Field Trip and Travel Services. Okay? I also love to travel. So when I travel, I invest money in myself. You need to invest in yourself. If you have to, follow your passion through or thoroughly, you need to pay for trips. Like example, I'm talking about me as a travel consultant. I can't say I'm a travel consultant when I've not visited anywhere. I need to go. I need to see. Our mantra in Field Trips is we sell what we know. We sell the destination because that is what makes us. So we don't just tell you we sell everywhere. Some places that we go to, We go there, we see, we know. So we come to tell you we have conquered. This is it, here, take it and sell. So we are recognized by different tourism boards. Just even last month, we won top 100 tour operators in Africa. Yes, we won top 100 operators in Africa. Thank you very much, everybody. And so it's been a journey. Also, I found out one more business I just added. I found out that I travel a lot. And when you travel, you need to recoup, like mommy said. You need to recoup. So I found out that I love fashion. So I said, okay, I have opportunities of traveling. So I decided to be bringing in clothes too, shoes. Because when I travel, people say, I like what you wear. So I started bringing in things. So now it gave birth to another company called Kapada Clothing. It's an online store. So you go online. So whenever I travel to any place, I will see something to buy from the place, and by the time I advertise it on Instagram, people buy clothes and people buy clothes. So for me, it's not, you can turn your career as an engineer into enterprise because you need to meet a need. Also, you can also look by your side, what is the need you need to meet that is not even relating to you being an engineer. And I know that it will work. So with passion, with knowing the right things to do in that chosen passion. Because the passion might not even come. You might do like 10 things, 100 things. But when time the passion comes, you will know that this is my passion. And it will give you money. Some people turn their passion to breakfast money, as in like the money they see for breakfast. Some is for lunch. Some is all inclusive. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that is the height I want to go to. That's the height I want to go to. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very, very, very much, Ifedayo. I think what I garnered from her, patience, diligence, before the big bucks start rolling in, and also having a safe zone to practice. She was working as an estate surveyor, but you know, she was doing the trips, you know. So her boss gave her a safe zone to hone her skills. That's very good. Thank you very, very much for that. Where's Bosse? Before we go on.
Thank you very much. I'm sure we all have our questions noted down. But before we go into that, I'm sure from one or two questions, we'll get more ideas that will erupt from them. Particularly Engineer Fumilayo Kaxon's session, we have one of her guests here. She will be doing a paper presentation after the session. You know, we at the level where we ensure that as a woman we go elevate. You can be an engineer, you can be a QS. We all come together to make sure that we make this world a better place. So we have Mrs. Aderunke Oyilami, a fellow Nigerian Institution of Quantity Surveyor, fellow of the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, UK. She is the chairperson of Women Association of Quantity Surveyors of Nigeria. She's also an affiliate member of Chartered Institution of Building Services Engineers. She kept the remaining one, but I was able to get all this. You're welcome, ma'am. Please, can we all come hands behind the table? Please, can we have... I needed to be sure it's just a handbag she has. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you. Please, the young engineers, I don't know if you need to, your facilitator is around, but I'm sure that some of you will be struggling to leave this forum, hearing that someone became a businesswoman right from school. I can identify with Footmina. I went there somewhere around Boso that time. And there are a lot of things that can happen there. There's this building opposite where people go to eat. As a young engineer then in Nigerian Society of Engineers, I went there and I saw all that. So I can identify with what you're saying. It's just that a lot of people did not maximize it. So I can understand young engineers that will be struggling to leave this environment. But you have your session starting downstairs already, so you can please go there. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go into questions, I just want to say something. Engineer Kyrie said something, that the world is changing. I'm sure we all know the phrase, jack of all trades, but I change it for myself. Jack of all trades, master of several. Master of several doesn't have to be all. That's what I do because I'm also doing so many different things. So we're going to have 10 minutes for questions. And I'm going to start off with my own questions since I have the mic. I want to ask our speakers, what challenges did you face in business? First, just as an entrepreneur, and then as a female entrepreneur. So what challenges did you face? First as an entrepreneur, and then in particular, were there any additional challenges as a female entrepreneur? So question and answer time. I think we're going to have, if I said 10 minutes, so no more than 5 questions, please. And we can see them afterwards. Or 5 is too much. Okay, 3, because I'm already asked 1.5. So questions? Who has questions? Okay, maybe you can. Right.
Make it faster.
Yes. So please answer.
Okay, we start with the first person. Challenges, typical challenges are infrastructure and managing your time, right? Managing your time right. So I mentioned one of the challenges I had. People thought I was too niche in my business, but I was willing to take the fall to prove my point, and I did, because it felt only this, and eventually now everybody's talking about women. You open any magazine now, women magazines are all over the place, women's TV stations are all over the place. So, I mean, when I started, it was like, don't be focused on women, it won't work. You know, our TV station is still going to come for only women, and nobody's going to stop us. Just women, nobody else. So, one of the challenges in the family, well, in terms of professionally as a female, I'm in a profession where females are the ones that thrive most there. So there's no discrimination whatsoever. So there were no challenges there. It was just managing the family time. And that's why as an entrepreneur, I used to tell my kids, you know, if you're ill, you sit in the car and I do my business, I will continue to the hospital. So it gave me more time. We finish that, do the meeting, we go to the hospital and do what we have to do, right? So I mean, that's just what it is. So thank you.
Thank you for that. Engineer Kylie, please.
I think the same. And infrastructure was a major thing. Then, as a woman, as a woman entrepreneur, when I was running my consultancy, engineering consultancy, it was tough then. But I see a lot more women here. It was really tough because I want to say this, please. I had an experience that shook me. Because once I knew I can be friendly, I had a problem with the men thinking because you're a woman, your back could be flat on the ground. Yes, I did have that problem. I don't know how many people are ready to answer, but I will tell you. I faced that. And I remember somebody who I became friendly with as an engineer, a colleague, once tried to steal a kiss because we're in a close place, and I slapped there. You know, so every opportunity that he had been willing to open to me, I didn't care. There was another incident. I was in Abuja for the first time, and I needed, for the first time for business, and I was talking to someone who said he would host me. With his family, he would host me. When I got to Abuja, he put me in a guest house. Now, I thought I was going to meet a colleague's family. He put me in a guest house, and I was wondering what's going on. Of course, he made his intentions known. He got the normal thing now. Because I insisted I wanted to meet his wife and children, and I gave him the talking of his life. Listen, I am not, so that was what I went through often. Do you understand? So, for me, being a woman there, but now I hope we have the guts to say that we're high enough, there are enough people there to protect this generation of engineers from that kind. Thank you.
Thank you very
But
much.
even if they're not protected, they take your example. You can deal with it. They will come to you with advances, but you don't have to answer them. You just deal with it as it comes.
Thank you. So now,
Okay.
Andrew Ogunbayo.
Okay, let me start from the last question. I'm in a kind of industry where the women folks, they don't have such challenge. Yeah, because there are more women in the profession, in the tourism profession, and a lot of women have even brought innovation rather into the tourism system. For me, I don't just sell tickets, I sell experience. I sell so many things. So even the men who are even the people who have been in the industry for years, they call me, oh, Fido, we need you to come and speak to my staff on this. We need to come, because when you travel, you're able to know and have ideas on what to do and what not to do. And because you meet people, other travel, people, and challenges, simple, the lights, the infrastructure. I've not had lights in my office since November. I've been using generator. The way it is when people are telling you to beware of fake travel professionals, you also need to beware of fake people who come to meet you. People come to meet us and they dupe you and travel, people have duped me 7 million, like that. So those are the challenges, the normal challenges we all face in our offices.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can we have questions, please? Certainly we have questions. Two more.
Question.
You don't have to. Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. No, I just felt that, you're here with all this knowledge, experience, and it's good to gain from you. All right. So, if that...
Comments maybe.
Okay, comments.
Engineer Fumi said something, and that's triggered a whole lot in me, because in my office, they know me, I will slap you. You touch me. And it's no joke. I don't care whether you're the MD or whoever you are. I will slap you. And I will also tell you to go report me. You know why they can't report? They'll be fired. As a woman, I have girls, and I tell them, you must learn to stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Nobody is going to fight your battle for you. You must learn to stand up for yourself. Let your head be high up, not down. Don't make yourself subservient. Don't try to please any man. You're carefully and wonderfully made. God was resting when He created the woman. He was resting. He was resting, and He had all His senses together. So He took time to create you as a woman. And you must remember that. So don't let any man ever make you feel inferior or to feel like you're lower than him. They're the head, but we're the neck that makes the head grow. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Before we release our speakers, I'd like to pray for you that your businesses will continue to succeed and the new endeavors you lay your hands upon will flourish. Thank you very much. Let's give another round of applause. Chairperson of Women Association of Quantity Surveyors of Nigeria. She will be running us through a presentation session. And after the presentation, I'm sure we'll take the question and answers. Please note your question and answers. Your questions while she's doing the presentation. She's been here with us since yesterday. She's truly a friend of the association. You're welcome.
If you permit me, I'd like to stand on existing protocols. I actually thought I would be addressing the younger ones, but either way, we're all young at heart, and I do believe that either way, we'll all pick up something from the few minutes that I have to share with you. So I'll start by saying that it gives me great pleasure and honor to be present here today in the midst of eminent personalities and this August gathering to celebrate your 35 years of existence as APWEN. My own association is a very much younger body than yours. By next year will be 15 years. So I'm also delighted to be a part of this epoch-making event to further enhance the job-creating capabilities and entrepreneurial skills of the emerging generation of engineers, encouraging them to fully imbibe your motto of the 3 E's, that is, encourage, enhance, and excel. I hope that by the time this conference is over, the younger generation of engineers will have numerous ideas to drive their passion into enterprise, especially with the dearth of white-collar jobs in the country. So, in talking about waste, waste is anything that people do not value anymore and would love to throw away because they have no further need for them. Waste will remain a part of our lives for as long as we exist. While some people may produce more waste than others, everybody produces waste daily. And it is a problem because it causes pollution, disease, and environmental crisis, especially when it is not properly disposed of. However, most of the waste produced can be recycled and reused to create new products. Due to stronger, healthier hygiene and sanitation laws, many cities are becoming more environmentally responsible. Uncollected trash is a very big problem in developing regions of the world, especially Africa. Sadly, only about 10% of waste generated daily is collected. The rest usually ends up in illegal dump sites, gutters, and drainage. We all know this anyway. Whereas in Europe, the US, and other developed regions of the world, waste collection and recycling are a multi-billion naira or a multi-billion dollar industry. Waste processing. Waste that cannot decay and be reused by nature is inorganic waste. And we have plastic, rubber, glass, metal, and textile falling into this category. However, for the purpose of this presentation, my focus is limited to plastic. Plastic is one of the most common forms of waste in Nigeria. Plastics are synthetic substances produced by chemical reactions, and almost all plastics are made from petroleum. Plastics derive their name from their properties, that's the ability to be molded, cast, extruded, or processed into a variety of forms like solid objects, films, and filaments. These properties arise from the molecular structure. Plastics are polymers, a very long chain of molecules that consist of monomers, which are subunits linked together by chemical bonds. In other words, plastics are micromolecules formed by polymerization and have the ability to be shaped by the application of a reasonable amount of heat and pressure or any other form of force. This great human creation changed the world and brought comfort to our lifestyle. Now, plastics can be found in all human activity, ranging from clothing to shelter, infrastructure, communication, agriculture, construction, hardware, packaging, entertainment, and even healthcare. You think about it, we go to parties very frequently, and hardly can you go to a party, especially in Lagos, without them bringing one form of plastic or the other. In fact, I'm tired. I usually leave mine on the table, or I give to my driver or something, because I have so much plastic at home. It's really a nuisance. So its attractive properties are lightweight and high strength, and meets a large share of the material needs of man, and that too at a comparative lesser cost. Waste plastic, which could be in the form of bottles, containers, shopping bags, etc., can be melted and formed into an amazing range of new and reusable products. Recycling of plastic is often very challenging because plastic is of little value. and there are numerous technical hurdles to overcome in the process. Plastic waste is rather critical because it is non-biodegradable. That is, it is inorganic and cannot be broken down by microorganisms, and can become toxic for the soil, water, and air because of the length of time it remains on the landfill dump site. When it's burnt, the smoke from plastic emits hazardous substances into the environment. The percentage of plastic that can be recycled can be increased when manufacturers of packaged goods minimize mixing of packaging materials and eliminate contaminants. When different types of plastics are melted, they tend to separate. That is, technically it's called phasing, and set in different layers. Just like oil and water. If you have oil and water mixed, you can always see the clear line of demarcation between them. Similar thing when you have different types of plastic being melted together. The two most widely manufactured plastics as of now are polypropylene and polyethylene. And they have properties the two most widely manufactured plastics, that's polypropylene and polyethylene, have such properties. That is, when you melt them, they tend to phase. Hence, the use of biodegradable plastics is more on the increase. Now, investing in plastic waste recycling. Before plastic waste can be recycled and reused, such waste must be sorted according to its resin type or according to color, then shredded and processed to remove impurities such as labels. They are then extruded and formed into pellets for use in manufacturing. Although sorting and cleaning collected waste may require significant labor, processing the materials will require an investment in machines and processing equipment, be it locally fabricated machinery or imported. And you know we're fond of going to China. That's where you tend to get the cheapest imported products. This portends to be a major challenge for young entrepreneurs, and they may need to join hands in a joint venture. A business plan must first be developed before seeking partnership of any kind. This will take the following factors into consideration. If you're going to draw up a business plan, you'll be thinking about the cost of land and site development, the cost of buildings, putting up buildings. If you're not even buying land, you still need to rent a premises. So then the cost of putting up buildings, the cost of the plant and machinery that go into the buildings, then motor vehicles, the office equipment that you need to run your office. Then at times you need to engage those who have technical knowledge. You need to engage them in order to run your business. Then franchise. You also need to make provision for contingencies and working capital. Thank you very much. A number of these items may be optional depending on the size of the business. The Bank of Industry has a 90 million naira business development fund for women on behalf of the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. It provides soft loans for women entrepreneurs. The BOI has been known to provide access to funds for business startups, and in doing so, they facilitate the entire process from the pre-loan application right through to the end. Beyond this, the BOI has actually earmarked 22 billion for women-owned businesses for this year, 2018 alone. To get access to this, one will need to contact the BOI Nigeria Gender Business Desk by visiting the bank or via their email. They have an email address. Okay, if you can see the screen, the email address is genderbusiness at boi.ng. Last year alone, they cumulatively disbursed about 20.5 billion to support women businesses in the country. During the last International Women's Day, the bank announced that they are looking at ways to support businesses promoted by women, businesses led by women in terms of management, and businesses that generate huge employment for women. I've actually been at a gathering, and the MD of that bank wasn't able to be present. But the man who presented, I'm actually taking him to my institute, to my association rather, in a couple of weeks' time to come and talk more to the leaders. Actually, it's a leadership retreat. So I do have contact with them, and I know that what they are saying is actually a fact. It is not something I just picked up from the net. We've had an interaction with them, and I'm looking for ways and means of getting my members to take advantage of this loan. So as many of you here, I think you should also try to key into this business opportunity. Wealth creation opportunities. Plastic waste can be converted into fuel, although this may require some machinery. Akinori Ito, who is a Japanese inventor, has invented a device that will turn ordinary plastic shopping bags into gasoline. His device comes from a simple idea. And plastic bags are made out of oil, so he just thought that there should be a way to change them back and recapture the energy inside them. The device melts plastic bags, filters and cools the vapors, and then condenses them back into crude oil, which can be used as fuel. An additional step turns the crude oil into gasoline, providing an even more versatile energy source. It has been reported that Ito's invention usually uses remarkably little energy to complete this process. Approximately 1 kilogram of plastic bags can be converted into almost a liter of oil using a single kilowatt of power. Trash bags are made from recycled plastic and take relatively less energy to manufacture, resulting in low greenhouse gas emissions. Plastic bottles for detergent, shampoo, as well as household cleaners come mostly from recycled high-density polyethylene, which I'm fond of called HDPE, which is a plastic. Sometimes manufacturers leave it in this translucent state, and other times they add color pigments to make it stand out from their competitors. Recycled plastic gotten from HDPE is best suited for non-food products. Apart from HDPE, low-density polyethylene, which is LDPE, is also quite popular and is more flexible and transparent than the high-density variety. Both types have similar ability to resist chemicals such as bases and acids, and is used to produce transparent films and sheeting. Affordable kitchenware is also made from recycled plastic. Plastic cutting boards, colanders, mixing bowls, and tableware are strong enough to withstand everyday use. Food storage containers made from recycled plastic can be reused again and again. Recycled PVC is suitable for manufacturing resilient and flexible goods such as garden hoses, mud flaps that we have on cars, just behind the wheels, those mud flaps. And traffic cones. It is tough and can handle impact very well. Recycled PVC is also used in rigid products such as decking and floor tiles. We also have ceiling tiles, we have plumbing pipes, we have doors and windows available in its clear and pure form, mixed with pigments for color. Recycled polystyrene is used in manufacturing packing materials and other products that protect goods during shipment. Sorry, whoever is operating the slide, please, you can begin to open the different websites that I indicated there. So, alright. So, recycled polystyrene is used in manufacturing packing materials and other products that protect goods during shipment. This material makes superb thermal insulation and construction joint filler. Attractive, durable work surfaces made from recycled HDPE are countertops, which can be fitted in kitchens, laundry rooms, bathrooms, or anywhere else that one may choose. So the first website there, if you can open it please. Cyclus is a local Ghanaian company in Elmina, South Accra. They partnered with a waste management company in the Netherlands to build wealth from the huge volume of waste generated in Ghana. The company collects, processes, and recycles waste from households, hotels, restaurants.
Section C, and we have some papers from the other section that we'll also be taking. Section C is about the role of female engineers in rural development. But we'll also be taking a paper from the self-discovery and career personal presentation. We'll also be taking a paper from the waste wealth and wealth creation. The chairperson for this technical session is the Vice President of APWEN, Engineer Funlola Ojelade, MNS. The money woman. If you are looking for new mints, if someone sees mint money every time, very, very new. She sees it in bundles, in parks, name it all. In houses, beautiful. The day she did presentation on money making, she gave us the rudimentary, the engineering behind it. However, she ended it that, though she sees all the money, but you can't take that money out of that place. You know how it feels, especially when it's 5,000 naira you have, and you need about 20,000 naira. Yes, you are seeing the box of mint money. Anyway, she's the woman of many values. She's also an ex-officio of Nigerian Society of Engineers, Victoria Island branch. The newly elected, she has capacity for so much, and she's also a mentor to a lot of us. Join me to welcome the chairperson for this technical session, Engineer Fumi Ojelade, MNS. You're welcome. She's the one that holds the stage today. After I do my MC, I will disappear behind the scene. She holds the stage today. The rapporteurs for these sessions are Engineer Nimot Muile, the Southwest Coordinator of Association of Professional Women Engineers. When she was Lagos State Chapter Chairman, we met at the AGM, the Nigerian Society of Engineers, AGM, and she was so passionate about, she is still passionate about APWEN, very, very passionate. She sold APWEN to me like $1 million business. Unfortunately, that time I was struggling with my career. I needed to rise. So other activities were like distractions. She kept following up. This woman is passionate about APWEN. Even when she meets me at some other occasion, she will still tell me, we've not seen you at APWEN. She was doing it with smiles, making me to look responsible, even when I was irresponsible about APWEN. So I appreciate you, Engineer Nimot. Thank you very much. Do we have Engineer Binta here? Okay, Engineer Binta, your constituency must be represented. APWEN is going global, so we must represent her. She's one of the rapporteurs. Please sit down. Thank you. She's from Kano. Okay, my apologies. You know I'm not in the academia, so Engineer Doctor Pinter, former coordinator, zonal coordinator, APWEN Northwest. You see, in APWEN, you can have many portfolios. You're welcome, ma'am. So I'll leave the introduction of the paper presenters today to the chairperson, but I'll call them to sit while the chairperson gives their profile in a brief, in a minute or so. She knows them. You don't, you know them, you know all of them. Okay, we'll do the introduction. Let's start with Engineer Busari. She will be talking on female engineers in nation building. Pull your socks up. I know for one thing she's from Covenant University. They've been following me up on accommodation, not knowing that I'm also carrying so many portfolios. You're welcome. All the way from Water. You're welcome, please. See, okay. Yeah, that's all. Yes. And we have Engineer Dr. Queenet from Benin chapter. I saw her just now. Where is she? Okay. Please. You own the stage today, and we'll use that stage to tell us the story we need to know. Our third speaker, I will put the doctor very soon. Engineer Mrs. Fumilola Akibabu. Fumilade, I will be fine. The newest chairman of Nigeria Society of Engineers, Ikeja Brown. Chances, yes. Chances, the national treasurer. Okay, I will keep the other ones. And the fourth person is Engineer Onifade. You're welcome. She just came in. We appreciate you. Please come on stage. Thank you.
Electricity generator, you know, to power our chargeable mobile devices like our laptops, phones. And I actually went into using it to power electric bulbs, energy-saving bulbs, and it worked. Yes. Using waste heat converted into usable power electricity, using response-based methodology as my model. And response-based methodology is a statistical model that has to do with predicting your input process parameters, and after predicting them, optimizing these process parameters, and then giving you an optimal value for whatever your input process parameters should be for you to use as your optimal value all the time, even as a database all over the world, and every model you use for that, it will work. Now, one of the objectives, the main objective of this research is to actually establish a defined quantity of power. 43.9 watts was what I determined in this project that will provide an effective performance when I assembled my thermoelectric generator. And another thing I did here, which was so paramount, was most of these thermoelectric generators that were actually produced did not have a defined temperature difference. Because if you power your thermoelectric generator with a temperature difference that is too high, it will burn. And if it burns, it's not going to work to fail. So with this project, I did something, and I had a defined quantity of temperature difference, and which was 85 degrees centigrade, that can be used anywhere in the world to power a thermoelectric generator. Next slide. Now, one of the significance of this study is that the thermoelectric generator is environmentally friendly. The thermoelectric generator is environmentally friendly, and I used one of the methodology that was used here was to select input process parameter, which was the voltage, current, and then the temperature difference, and then I had responses, which was my output, power power and conversion efficiency. Now, what does conversion efficiency mean? It means that by the time my heat is being transmitted into the thermoelectric model, it has to be converted from heat energy to electrical energy. And most times, conversion efficiency that I reviewed from previous literature review was so low, 5%, 6%. Rowe in 2000 and something, I'll see it there, did a conversion efficiency of 5%, and that's the latest. But the conversion efficiency I got from this study was 7.6%. Now, the experiments were performed using heat source from candles, heat source from gas burner, and heat source from the back of the refrigerator. And then the experiment was conducted using input process parameters, like I told you, voltage, current, and temperature difference. And then I used the tech module, Tech 12706 tech module, which is very powerful. And then I set up this, and this is the diagrammatic explanation of a thermoelectric module, where you have your N-type and your P module. You have the N connected in series and the other connected in parallel. And then when the heat is being generated and put in on the heat sink, the heat is entering into the thermoelectric module. It will convert the heat energy with your thermoelectric elements like bismuth, telluride, and all of that. Convert from heat to heat energy to electricity, electrical energy. So the responsible methodology here was statistical tool I used, and those to predict and optimize, like I said, and the results that were gotten from this optimization were for 3.7 watts, 7.6 conversion efficiency, as against the 5% I told you earlier for Rowe in 1998. Now it's clear. And the optimized values for my temperature difference is 85 degrees centigrade. Now your temperature difference is actually the main thing you need to power your thermoelectricity. If your temperature difference is very low, it's not going to gather enough heat to produce electricity. But here I got an optimal value for 85 degrees centigrade as against 72, 71 from other literatures. Now, this is we call this response surface plot. In this response surface plot, you have colors there. At the red point, you have maximum points. At the blue point, you have minimum points, low values. At the middle, you have the design space. Now, seeing that from the first slide, those red points show that at high value, at very high value, you will have good transmission. Yes, that's it. That's for power, voltage, temperature, power, current, temperature, and all of that. And I had RAM plots. These are validations, to validate my result. And my RAM plot here, now temperature difference 85 degrees centigrade, 15 volts for my voltage, current was 3%, my efficiency 7.6%, and power for 3.9 watts. My findings: an optimal value for power was obtained, and that was for 3.9. Optimal value for temperature difference 85 degrees centigrade. Optimal value for voltage was 15 volts, as against 10 volts, 11 volts, 11.4 volts from other literatures. Now, my contribution to knowledge is very simple. A model has been developed and used for performance analysis for the study, and that was response surface methodology model. And a defined quantity of conversion efficiency was defined, and that was 7.6%. And for recommendation, I recommend that further studies should be on seeback effect, where you have to do your difference in voltage over your difference in temperature. So each time you have voltage difference, you have to do something with your temperature difference, and then you have the seeback effect. I didn't go into that because it's a bit very vast, and it was yeah. So conclusion: using responsible methodology to analyze performance of thermoelectric module, and optimal value of power and conversion efficiency of 3.9 watts and 7.6% has been established, and it is satisfactory. Thank you for listening. Now, translating passion into enterprise. Passion is something you do that you do not struggle. If you struggle, you don't have the passion. If you struggle, it becomes stress. If you flow, it is your passion. And when you flow, you add what we call resilience. If you have resilience, then your passion will move. So with this, I am going to add passion to this and make sure I'm going to power Nigeria in the near future. Thank you.
told me she gathered 600 children, she's teaching mathematics. 600 children. What? Thank you, Dr. Gwyneth. The next person is Engineer Fumilade Akingbagbohun, the chairman of NSC Ikeja branch. She's one of very passionate ladies who is just treading everywhere the men are treading and elbowing them out. Moving out of the shadow, I understand that's what you are taking. And you have 15 minutes, don't overtalk.
No, change it from personal presentation to the other one, the first one. Okay, the very first one. Yeah.
Okay, I'd like you to introduce yourself when you take it so we know we have an ethos for.
Okay, let me quickly take my introduction in 1 minute. My name is Engineer Mrs. Fumi Akingbagbohun, a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers. I'm the first female to be registered as a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers. I'm the first female to be the chapter chair for Lagos for Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers. I've served 3 years as the National Membership Secretary of the Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers. I'm the second female in 25 years to become the chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers in Ikeja branch. I want to keep the rest because my 1 minute is already over. Now, we want to really talk about something moving out of the shadow. What is a shadow? A shadow is like a mirage. It's not you. But today, we want to say you need to move out of the shadow as a female engineer. How do you dominate in a male-dominated field? And that is why I gave you the introduction that I gave you, so that you know that you can move out of the shadow. You can compete favorably with anybody because you are who you are. First line. In the beginning, you can see the girls. These ones are carrying books. So when when we were younger, is the toys that we play with. From that, girl child comes under intense scrutiny and subject to many social limitations as mechanical engineering. What prompted me? Let me quickly share with you. When I was younger, I don't know how many of us were born in the time of black and white TV that has a door that you close together. That was when I was in secondary school. We were going to school, not in SS, so I didn't do SS. I did Form 1, Form 2, and the rest of them. And so when I was in Form 2, they said we should go and do debates. And they put my name. They said, I should go and look for a profession. I looked at engineering, and I prepared for that debate. And, and that same moment, I decided I wanted to study mechanical engineering. A lot of people came to my parents and said, this girl, they are going to put her hand inside machine, and the machine will take her hand away. I said, nothing will happen. I'm going to go there. So when I got admission into Yabatech, I was the only female in my class. And my mom started crying. She said, hey, Shebi, I told you. No, it is for men, it's not. I said, this one, we will do it together. Because there were 49 boys in my class, I was the only female in my class then. So, but I struggled with them, and I still came out with a 2-1. So recently, in the last few years, in this same NSC that we are in Nigeria, somebody challenged me and he told me, he said, you are a female, I have somebody like you at home. I said, you cannot have somebody like me at home. Because me, you studied engineering, I studied engineering, I came out with 2-1 in Polytechnic, I came out with 2-1 in University of Ibadan, and you came out with 2-2 from University of Ibadan. You can't talk to me. So as a girl grows, to either adapt to the limitations or defy the odds. You need to choose which one you belong to. Do you want to defy the odds and say, I am an engineer through and through? Or you want to limit yourself? I enjoy what Dr. Busari said. When she was talking, I said, yeah, she's playing with me. Right? We are seeing it in the same way. You need to be able to see yourself and to move out of that shadow and not limit yourself. How do we move out of the shadows to succeed, individually or collectively? As collectively as APWEN, how do we survive? Individually as yourself. If you don't conquer yourself, you cannot work together in a collective environment like this. Next slide. There is room for women. That's the news this morning. There is room for women. The global women's labor force participation rate at 48.5% in 2018 is still 26.5% points lower than the rate of the male counterparts. That's the evaluation we're having. The global unemployment rate of women for 2018 at 6% is approximately 0.8% points higher than the rate for the men. So what does it mean? In Nigeria, there is a shortage of skills.
Our students, they will have the opportunity to come to that experiment to do their IT. And even it will even help people, it will also create job for people around. Thank you. So let me give me just 2 minutes. As you have done to others, let's give me just 2 minutes. So now, look at this one. Power generated through renewable energy. You can see that one is a solar panel. This one is just showing us how power can be generated from renewable energy like solar power and that of wind. Then you can see this one. Power can also be generated there. You see the boiler tank. Biomass can be put there and will be subjected to heat. You know, the heat we now do what? We make the turbine to work, and at the end of the day, we have electricity generated. And in conclusion, the research will do what? Elevate environmental attack. It will be a source of environment, and at the end of the day, it's going to reduce poverty and create more energy supply.
Was too long. You knew you had 15 minutes, and you wanted to introduce everybody from Oshogo chapter. I said this thing, Oshogo Roki is going to run into extra time. Thank you so much. So we've come to the end of the presentations. I would like people who have questions for them to. Okay, somebody has a question. How many questions are we going to take? Maximum 2 people. No, there are 4 of them. There are 4 of them. So 4 questions. The first person, your question. Where is the mic?
I am engineer Imali, Princess Obuje. My question goes to renewable energy.
I hear your name. I heard something, but I did not get it.
Okay. Engineer Imade, Princess Obuje. My first question is that when you talk about renewable energy, and you talk from the perspective of wind energy, you talk from solar energy, and you talk from thermal energy and biofuel engineering energy. So I want to see how, your question, I have a question before us. How do you think you can coordinate it in able to what solve the issue of the epileptic supply of electricity? What is your question? Wait, let me go around.
See, no, okay, can I? Yes, ma'am. What I'm saying is that if we are very serious about this energy issue in Nigeria, and we are able to fund any research that is pertaining to this energy problem, it will work. You know what I want to tell you? When I was in Kenya, there is a University of Kenyatta. Do you know they generate their own electricity by the university generates their own electricity and it is working now. You know what they do? That's what I want to say. A whole university, they don't make a kind of central soccer. They make a kind of central soccer that is very large. If you are in office A, your toilet will be, all those pipes will be
We enter that central stock away. There is no place, no matter how far your office, it will still do. I get you. So you now know what they do. They also make a kind of digester and all those stuff were installed. There's a kind of installation. The feces, you know that there will be a time that the feces will be what do you call it? Decomposed. And after decomposition, there's a kind of gas that will be produced. That gas is now, that gas is now connected to a kind of turbine. And kind of
I will have to stop because you didn't seem to understand my question. Okay, my question is very different from what you're saying.
Okay, sorry.
You're telling us about the details of what the Kenyatas do. Today in Nigeria, Covenant University, they produce their own electricity. They are not even on the national grid. In my estate in Bagada, I got a couple of people who produce their own electricity. And they do not depend on it. What her question is very different from your answer. Please ask her carefully so that she can understand.
There's no need of dragging it too much. What I'm only asking, how do you synchronize it? How do you tell us, Nigeria, that okay, we can get power from wind turbines, we generate power from the wind turbine, we synchronize it with power from the biogas. From the biogas can also be used to generate electricity via gas turbine and via steam turbine. Because our biogas you are talking about is a very significant aspect in mechanical engineering. I'm a mechanical engineer. You understand? You can turn that biogas to generate electricity on its own, and you can use the waste product that comes out from that biogas to heat the weather freedom and what it will heat the weather with a particular centigrade and generate what electricity. No, I don't want to write that. I don't want to write that.
The vice president, she's standing up and saying silence. For goodness sake, can we have silence?
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Well, I see that there is a way the person asking the question expects it to be directed. So I'll just ask that you just make a comment because it appears that you know. So that we can, because she doesn't seem to be getting the line of questions you are asking. So since she's not reading it, so just pass it as a comment. It doesn't need to be a question. Can you do that quickly? Because it seems a little more, it seems a little deeper than just biomass.
Please, thank you. A lot of you here, I can make all of you leader and reasonable. Stay out here. In 2 minutes, tell us what you're saying. Don't answer questions. Give us your comments. Thank you.
Please, I'm sorry for all of it. What I am trying to say is that now she did a review paper, that is what she just explained to us, on renewable energy, how to stabilize the electricity condition in Nigeria. Now, the question I had to the secretary, I should give a comment, is that from the biomass or the biogas, we can actually synchronize the generosity of Nigeria. Because why I say so is that we have what we call hybrid generation, where you have two turbines combined together to generate electricity. So what you do, at times of people in the field call it dual generation of power, where you combine the gas turbine and the steam turbine to work together. Now synchronizing it with biomass. Now because the biomass is after digesting the waste product, it gives you some percentage of gas, which will help to generate the electricity through thermal analysis. That's where I have a question for my mathematical model. Then now, after generating electricity, that gas is still acting some waste product. This is where it becomes an hybrid. It further goes to what works in the steam turbine. So when you work in the steam turbine, or you must take it first to the gas turbine, generate electricity, and that gas will have a waste product. In mechanical engineering, there's what we call luxes. It must occur in any system. So when you finish the generation of that steam turbine, you pick the waste and heat up the steam turbine and generate what? Electricity at 960 degrees Celsius. So now if you look at it from biogas, synchronize it to steam turbine, and at the flowing part of it, after you do the prime, condenser priming and all those things, you have another waste that goes back to the river. So that's what I just wanted to
Okay, so I have another question in the house. I have a comment here. One of the rapporteur, an engineer, my next name. Yes.
In this session, well, since we've had all these things about alternative energy, and while they're all very good theoretically, it's not new, there's not a new study. As APWEN, I remember some years ago when we had, that's Engineer Musu, she also worked on this, and what was that our farm? Utopia Farm, when we did the technological exhibition, he was there. If there is no government will, and I can see there is no government will, I can see that. Someone like, I was so impressed by when, Fumilade was talking. Now, is there no way that we can push these alternative energies? Now, obviously, she said there's money, the things like capacity, which she talked about. Is there no way, I know that we're looking at educating, upping some things which are still private, but is there no way that we can decide that in terms of energy, there's something we can do? Because I know that as far back as 40 years ago, maybe even more, Chinese villages had energy from biogas. It's not a new thing. And since we can see that successive governments don't have the will, and here there's a room of women, we know we can do. Is there a way? I'm thinking of it, the think tanks that we have in APWEN today, is there a way we can decide? Maybe we can't do it alone, but I know that if we go to NSC, they've not all these things. Now, men don't see the way we see. They don't see the way we see. We see things because in our homes we have to manage whatever we have, reuse, recycle, and now, here it is. She's knowledgeable. A lot of us have looked at all these things. Is there any way we can also have, when they started that thing, yes, in Nigeria, there was something they started in NSC. We call it something consultants. Is it still there? No, it's not called NSC Preps. NSC Preps. So,
is there any way that APWEN can have a consultancy and will also have financial consultants, so that some of these things we've talked about, we can actually bring them together. Take a village and do something. She talked about all these things that, you know, let's take it from research. Shall we say that she has challenged me? Shall we say research is not enough? Let us make a difference there. We don't need them. We don't need them.
Thank you very much. Our president has a comment. Oh, Nima. Oh, okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. And
You are
a quick one. I'm Engineer Adimot, former APWEN Lagos chapter chairman and the Southwest coordinator. I feel highly hesitant to be here. I'm going to put my comments, since we have 2 technical and 2 motivational talks, so I'm going to just talk generally on technical and non-technical. I'll start with the technical talk. I must applaud all the presenters for the courage, the time to put the papers together. On the presentation, it's obvious you've done wonderfully well, but I think someone said it yesterday, we need to go a bit further in what we do. It's obvious that the research work is still work in progress, but I think giving us a bigger picture of where we're going to really help us. I think that's where some of the questions is centering around. Like she talked about the heat from the back of the fridge. Where are we going to with that? I remember some years back when I was in US, it was during the winter, and the volume of heat coming out drew my attention. So when I came back in our intranet, I realized that Arab is already utilizing that heat to power something in the atrium or something like that. So, like she said, what we're doing presently, I think the world has moved beyond that. We're still doing micro projects. Going forward, I would suggest not only on APWEN forum, wherever you go to, let us see the bigger picture. Let us see the big project that are being done. Because if we have people who are investors there, all these things you are saying, you just ask you, how much does it cost to produce a single unit? Because all the grammar, they are not interested. And the same thing goes into consultancy. When we break it down, 10,000 man hour, they just say, tell me how much, and they will give you the money, and they will expect you to do a cost analysis. So please, let's keep that in mind in whatever we do. We're all technical people, but we don't need the volume of details. Give us the bigger picture. Then I think we also need to do a little more. You worked in, I don't know where your research was it around your locality? We need to go further to get the grassroots involved. Because for some of us here in Lagos, we don't want to leave our comfort zone. But she is working she most likely will be working with the grassroots, where she said you can't get it in Lagos. So I think moving forward, you need to let us know where are we going to get these resources. Because the first thing is, what are the manpowers we need? You didn't talk about that. I don't know if that was part of what you said. And you also didn't talk about it. Because if I am to rely on the fridge in my house, I might be wondering, would I be able to get that volume? But if you tell me that we go to PZ generate this volume of heat, I think I'll be able to relate with that. Then, presentation, I think we can do a little more better than, the academic presentation. Let's go a bit into pictorial, so that you do more of the talking than the data. I'm a civil engineer, but I think because I've seen some things in Chogai farm, I was able to relate with the ozone depletion, environmental pollution and all that, but many of us here might be confused. On the non-technical, I would just add, I don't know if you mentioned it or by omission, I think generally for we ladies, we should understand that hard work is not enough. We need to really collaborate to break the glass ceiling. She mentioned something about taking up marginal jobs. About 2 months ago, I was on a project with our global team, and the project is so challenging that I think we have about 8 men and I was only female. We walked close to 25 kilometers in one single site. But when we were going to the site, I told myself that Nimot, you must not fail. Because I know it was going to be a very long work and a very tough project. So I motivated myself that I was not fail. So each time we're going, my senior colleague said, where is Aja? Where is she? They keep checking on me, but I keep giving them water. Okay, you can take sweet, you can. So after the first visit, one of us fell sick till today. So what I'm saying is, we have the challenges. Our homes are there, our these are there, but we don't do the marginal job. How many of us here are not hardworking? All of us are hardworking. If they want things get done, they will say give it to Nimot by close of business. So we don't actually do the marginal job, and it's high time we showcase what we do. When we finish the project, I actually had to post all the pictures on my social media group, not because I want to showcase myself, but to tell them that I don't do those kind of job. I actually do the job because for the second phase, my director traveled to UK and he said Mo should lead the team. I led the team on the weekend, leaving my family behind. So I think we should go a little more. Don't let them tell us that we do the menial job. Then then just say one more thing. She talked about parental aspect that maybe okay, sorry, what she said we've had, but I think us as parents too, we should try to motivate our girls. I never bought dolls for my 2 girls. I normally buy step kits. So let's not stereotype our girls to, you must be plaiting hair, you must be sweeping. No. And when I wanted to teach my girl about driving too, I didn't tell her that you need to compete with a man. I just told her hold the steering and she started driving. So we should maybe unwind that stereotype of we must plait hair, we must cook. No. To our children, so that the future generation she's talking about, they can actually smile and take up the challenge without thinking they need to compete with anybody.
Engineer Nimot will give you time for another
She's one of the rapporteurs, so she has taken all the notes in, and that is why. And the bottom line, one of the things I see there is about let's not talk about all the theory. How can we bring this theory into an enterprise and bring money out of it? Because if anybody is going to invest in what you are doing, they want to know what they are going to get. So it's better you try and bring out the business in it.
So how many of us remembered what the 2 speakers yesterday told us about passion into
Passion plus purpose.
and how do you make us know your purpose? By developing a business plan, isn't it? So I like all the research work.
I just want to take one
Let's
more
move
question.
it forward. There's one more question
from somebody there.
Yes, that's it. All right, I have one more question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Engineer Titilola Raitori. I have a question and I have a statement at the same time to Engineer Busari and Engineer Fumilola. In encouraging girls to engineering, I saw you list all the engineering and I already feel marginalized even in this hall. I had civil, I had mechanical, I had electrical, I didn't hear water. And that is one reason. No wonder Nigeria is regressing in the area of water. From 47% in the 70s, today we are at 7% on-site water to everyone. We need to make it distinct. Women are the custodian of water. We leave it to the men gender, and that is why we are not progressing in that field. I think it is important. Let us make it distinct. Let us encourage our women. We are the only ones who can champion the cause of this very important substance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will look into that. Thank you. Where's I know Okay. Okay, so can you make it brief so that will be the last thing?
Okay. My next question goes to Tema producing electricity through heat. Now you work on response surface methodology. Now you showed us your slide. I want to know, because response surface methodology has different components inside, but you were not able to analyze the factors you use when you talk about optimization. We should know the factor. I want to know the part of response surface methodology that you used. Is it central composite design? Is it Osbeckham? I just want to know. Then,
thank you very much, Maddie. That was for you. The next.
Okay, Maddie, God bless you. I actually used response surface methodology for my PhD work. I did something in welding engineering. Okay? Design of experiments, design expert systems, and I did something with central composite design. Is that okay?
Thank you. Alright, that is the end of all the questions. And I have Engineer Busa recapping up for everybody here. So she's just going to tell us in 1 minute how to turn all of this into an enterprise.
Thank you, everyone. On behalf of all the presenters, I really want to appreciate you for your kind attention. But please, I just want to comment on the very sensitive and technical question that Mommy asked about how to actually, commercialize all this beautiful invention that my authors here have talked about. I think this is an opportunity for us in APWEN. When we look at the global world now, we have quite a number of grants available, a lot of grants that they will not even give individual. If I apply for it, they will not give it. They want group, people to come out in group, and they see people from Africa as less privileged people. So they are always eager to help. Those funds are there, but we cannot access it individually. So, I'm throwing this challenge to APWEN, to the president, and to the vice president. I don't know if there could be a technical group now whereby we can actually commercialize, and I think generations will be grateful that we actually did it. If we can come together, we have so many intellectual people here, electrical, mechanical people. Why can't you have a technical hub where we can always water? I'm sorry, yes, water. To apply for this one. And I know we got on our side, we can actually do it. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. I'm handing over back to the Vice President. She has some very special news for us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody, for this. Your lunch will be served here, but I will hand over to the... Okay, you don't bring lunch here. Okay, you're going to have lunch soon, but I'd like the next secretary to just talk, but we'll come to the end.
We're going to find out where lunch is, okay? We'll tell you.
Well, we're going to plenty whether to bring it here or for you to go down. So they will decide. People want it to come here, so they will bring the lunch here. They will bring it for you. But this is the end of the technical session for now. Well done for the technical secretary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Please, can we put our hands together for this, the team, the chairperson, our able vice president, President of Engineer Fumi Lola Ojelade, and the rapporteurs, Engineer Mimot and Engineer Peter. Please put your hands together for them. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for that job well done. I believe that in the next few minutes before the end of the day, the point highlights will be ready for me to have my portion. Thank you very much. And we also want to thank every one of you for for being here, for your contributions, questions, and observations. And I want to believe that there are always good ways of passing our messages across. When there's a presentation, please let us listen properly and ask questions that will make the work good. And if you see, like it has been said, renewable is everywhere. But you know, you and I, we can generate electricity from our own house. That's what we should be thinking of. If you listen to paper, how can you benefit from it? She cited an example from your soccer way. From your soccer way, you can generate your own electricity. Yes! Hello! In 2017, I presented a paper in APWEN, like in our conference, where you have biogas from animal dung, from abattoir. And there's a village now that have been able to, empower who are using it down in Niger State. So we should be thinking of what can we do. Two people can come together to have this project done. 3 people can come together. Then if you need to know more about the technicality, ask the presenter or go further for somebody else who knows it. And that's the purpose of conferences, so that we can be enlightened. And then if you have suggestions, why not put it across so that the paper can be good. Thank you very much.
Ladies, please, I want to add, always use your picture in your presentation. Like my professional mommy, she's just showing us Oyibo children. Please, let's stop. We Africans are very brilliant. So use yourself, your research work to motivate people, because you don't know where to get to in the future. Thank you.
Hello folks, we're ready your food upstairs, so sit comfortably and you'll be served, okay? But there is a secret. There's somebody whose birthday is today. She's coming. Alright? So we're going to set up. When she walks in, we shall begin happy
when you get home. You know the song, if you're happy and you know, clap your hand. Okay, that's how it goes. The G's in engineering is for girls. G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls and for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's. G for girl, G for G. E-N-G-I-N-E-E-R-I-N-G. Engineering. And how many G's you find there? 2. The G's in engineering is for girls. I'm not seeing your clap. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls and for girls. G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. It's a profession, not only for the men, but also for the girls and women. Oh, the G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls and for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. It's a profession not only for the boys, but also for the girls and women. Because girls will grow into women. I was once a girl, and now I am a woman. Okay? So let's take it one more time. The G's in engineering is for girls. It's a profession not only for the boys, but also for the girls and women. I love that person is smiling. Oh, beautiful. The G's in engineering is for girls. If I hear your clap, I'll be motivated to sing. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls, not for boys. The G's in engineering is for girls. G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls, not for boys. The G's in engineering is for girls. To study engineering, you need maths. To study engineering, you need physics. To study engineering, you must be very resilient. To study engineering, you must be strong. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls, not for boys. The G's in engineering is for girls. Yeah! The G's in engineering is for girls. I like this girl. I'm dashing out 1,000 naira. Yeah! So if you sing, I'll give you money. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls, not for boys. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. It's a profession, not only for the men, but also for the girls and women. It's a profession, not only for the men, but also for the girls and women. It's a profession, not only for the men, but also for the girls and women. Oh, the G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls, not for boys. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. Study engineering, you need maths. To study engineering, you need physics. To study engineering, you must be very bold and also very resilient as well. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls. The G's in engineering is for girls, not for boys. The G's in engineering is for girls. It's a profession, not only for the men, but also for the girls and women. Thank you. Okay, I would like one person to sing it. Hey. Okay. Thank you very much for listening. And please keep singing this song. It's very motivational for our girls so that they can study engineering. Engineering is very easy, it's simple, and it's a laudable course. Thank you very much for listening. Now, 1, 2, go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy
you.